Hello, my name is Veronica Myers, and I'm the Vice President for Educational Services and the school principal.
To put it in context, Veronica, how long have you been here? And give us a little bit of your background prior to coming to Youth for Tomorrow.
Sure. I came to Youth for Tomorrow in 2010, 2011, having been in the public school system as a special education teacher prior to that, and I started here as a special education teacher as well.
What were your early impressions of Youth for Tomorrow, and how excited were you when you came here?
I was absolutely thrilled. As I mentioned before, I had a background in special education, so I was thrilled to be able to come to a place where I could continue to work with kids with special needs and be able to pray and say, "Thank you, Jesus," in the same building at the same time. So that was very intriguing to me and very exciting.
What were some of your early challenges when you came here? Was there an adjustment period? Because this is not like a public school. Godly principles are taught here, among other things.
My biggest adjustment was really in the classroom. The kids had a lot of different, recognizing that it wasn't just about the academics. And it's really about teaching the child as a whole. So understanding trauma, understanding some of their triggers, and being able to provide interventions and strategies that may not be academic related.
And what challenges did you face? Because it sounds as though this was a complex situation, I guess is a good way of putting it.
That every day is a new day, and when something that may have worked on Tuesday may not work on Wednesday. So you start fresh the very next day, and always trying to build relationships with the students and get a better understanding of where they're coming from so we can best serve them.
And kind of to close the loop on your resume, how did your career progress and your current duties include?
Sure. I started as a special education teacher, then moved to student services coordinator, and then school principal, and then in January became the vice president for educational services.
What is a good day for you here like?
A good day is a day when I leave knowing that I've done the best I could to serve the students and the staff.
And when you look at the variety, the diversity of the students on this campus, how have you had to improve from your previous work experiences to be able to assimilate with such a diverse group?
Continuing to stay up on the research, especially trauma-related research, and being open and willing to try new things. We have found out that those types of interventions have been very helpful, and just continuing to constantly find interventions that will work for the students.
How have you coped? You have a coping corner, and there's occasions I would think where there's not enough hours in the day for someone who does what you do.
Sure. Believe it or not, one of the ways that I cope is going into the classroom. I love being in the classroom. I love going to see what the kids are doing, see what the teachers are doing. So when maybe the paperwork or other things get a little hectic, I actually go to the classroom or I make bulletin boards, believe it or not, because I like to have inspirational messages in the hallway and things of that nature for the kids. So oftentimes you'll see me on the floor cutting out letters or making posters, but I actually enjoy going into the classroom to decompress.
Once a teacher, always a teacher, I guess.
Yes.
What's your biggest source of pride in your tenure here and what you've seen? And you and I have talked quite a bit about some of the kids we have met along the way and how there's some incredibly great stories. But can you kind of look back and maybe some of the moments along the way for you that have been kind of watershed moments for you?
Oh, wow. I think some of the biggest moments are actually once the kids leave and then you run into them in the store or they send an email or they stop by here on campus and are excited, to see me and to tell me what they're doing. We don't always get to see the fruits of our labor while the kids are here. I often talk to the teachers about a dandelion, and when you blow the dandelion, we don't know where those seeds are going to land, but we know eventually they're going to grow. So it's exciting for me when the kids come back and we're able to reconnect with them and see all the positive things that they're doing.
What is special about this place, Youth for Tomorrow?
The love for the kids, the genuine wanting to help the kids. Oftentimes in places, in school settings in particular, you'll hear kids say, "Oh, you're just doing this for the paycheck. You're just doing this, for a job." But there are people here who love what they do. They love the children. They pray for the children every day and are willing to go above and beyond to make sure those kids are successful.
I want you to put your management hat on, not your teacher hat, and talk about you've been here since this place has transitioned to include services off campus. How have you viewed the expansion of Youth for Tomorrow since you've been here?
The expansion is incredible, and I'm very proud. I tell people I see in stores, I tell my family about the services because, of course, they know I'm here on the main campus, and but I tell as many people as I can about the other services that we offer, and it's just exciting that we can serve so many people in the community.
You should know that among the alums, I would say 95% of them have noted the staff is what makes this place special. How does that make you feel, knowing that you have a good team that is behind you and the youth home?
The staff are phenomenal. Like I said, the staff love the children, and one thing from being the school principal is the staff want to continue to learn. So they're always looking for suggestions, they're always looking for feedback, with the end result being what's going to work best for the students. So I'm very proud that not only are our students learning, but our teachers in particular are continuing to learn so we can better meet the needs of the kids.
But looking at the crystal ball, this youth home can accommodate a lot of kids, and as we see it expand, more kids and adults, in fact, going to be helped in the future. Kind of give us what your thoughts are moving forward, because you have been here for a tenure, I don't want to say spanning 2 decades. You've been here about a decade, and you've seen a lot.
Sure. Sure. I would like to see us continue to provide a quality education, but not only the academics, but the life skills. We are really, in the last year or so, working on social emotional learning. So the kids are learning more than just the academics. We actually talk to the students a lot about what is it you feel you should learn or you should know before you leave Youth for Tomorrow. And 80% of the time, they do not tell us academics. They want to know how to find an apartment. They want to know how to manage their finances. So basic life skills. So really looking at continuing to incorporate that more and more. And once again, looking at teaching the child as a whole.
It's unique in that respect that you might have had to learn a few things along the way yourself while working here, because of the fact that you're now having to guide kids in their life skills as well as with their academics.
Yes, definitely.
What have you learned?
That not everything we think people know, they know. And because of their experiences or their lack of experiences, the biggest thing is we can't assume they know something, that the kids know something that we think they should know by the time they're 15 or 16. So really taking the time to get them to know the kids and letting them know that it's okay, we're here to help you. And don't be afraid to ask what a certain word means, that you've heard, someone use. But really taking into the account that a lot of the kids have not had experiences and they really just don't know. And also keeping in mind that so many of them had their childhood taken away that sometimes we have to do things differently. I remember when I was a science teacher and I did some lesson on motion and force and brought in some, Matchbox cars, and they built a ramp, and the lesson went well. And I remember going over to my desk to put papers away and looking over and seeing 15 and 16-year-old boys playing on the floor with cars, and they absolutely had a ball. I heard one of them saying, "I never had any of these when I was little." So giving them opportunities for them to be kids, because so many of them have been living adult-like lives.
I'm gonna wrap it up with a quick comment on 2 words. I want you to give me your first comment on this first word and how it applies to you and what we do here at Youth for Tomorrow. Patience.
Patience is a virtue. You have to practice patience every day and realize when you need to take a break. We encourage the kids to take breaks. We encourage the kids to use their coping skills, and we as adults have to do the same thing.
One word to wrap it up has come up from a lot of the alums, and that word is hope.
Yes, every day giving the child hope, letting them know, and actually not even every day. The teachers and I have a conversation that every class period is a fresh start. So someone may have had an incident first period, they may have that same teacher second period, it's a fresh start. And that could have been 30 minutes ago. So letting the kids know that there is hope, we have hope in you, we are going to instill hope in you as well.